With more than 30 million bison once driven to the brink of complete extinction, the United States has achieved an unprecedented feat, reintroducing this iconic animal to revive dying landscapes while simultaneously transforming it into a golden link in the multi-billion-dollar premium red meat industry. This is not only the largest wildlife conservation effort in modern history, but also the story of how American ranchers raise, care for, and process hundreds of thousands of bison every year. Is this nation truly saving the giant animal of the Great Plains, or turning it into a new form of economic resource? Join Agriculture Insight as we explore the deeply paradoxical journey of the greatest engineers of the North American prairie. To understand why bison are capable of reviving an entire dying landscape, we must look back at the tragedy of the North American prairie that lasted for more than 400 years. Before Europeans set foot in North America, this land was home to a one-of-a-kind ecosystem, a vast sea of grass stretching from Canada to Texas, so immense that scientists came to call it the Great Bison Belt. Within this landscape, tens of millions of bison moved like black rivers across the green prairie, becoming the beating heart of the entire ecosystem, the animal Americans famously call the buffalo of America. In less than 50 years, bison became targets of wolves, bears, and humans, causing their population to collapse from more than 30 million animals to only around 500 surviving individuals. The soil became compacted, native grasses gradually died off, and the ecosystem itself began collapsing as well. It was at that moment that the United States began to realize that the prairie could not survive without the animal that had shaped it for thousands of years.
This tall grass.
And then, in the early 2000s, as many restoration efforts continued to fail, a bold idea emerged: let nature operate again as it did before human intervention.
And that is something that
The last surviving bison herds were bred, protected, and gradually reintroduced into Yellowstone, Montana, Wyoming, South Dakota, and massive ecological restoration projects such as American Prairie. So why could a single species revive an entire dying landscape? Unlike domestic cattle, which often remain in one place and compact the soil into hardened patches, bison almost never stay too long in a single area. They constantly disturb the topsoil, spread seeds through their thick fur and waste, and create alternating short grass and tall grass zones that allow hundreds of other species to coexist across the prairie. Even when these giants roll on the ground, their nearly one-ton bodies create shallow depressions that retain water, micro-nurseries that help seeds germinate across the prairie. Some ecologists even call bison the last ecosystem engineers of the Great Plains. And the remarkable reality is this: wherever bison return, the prairie slowly comes back to life as well. For many Native American tribes, the return of bison carries a meaning far greater than ecology or economics. For centuries, this animal served as food, clothing, tools, and nearly the entire foundation of survival for tribes living across the Great Plains.
From north to south.
But the greatest paradox lies here. Most of today's bison recovery does not come from wild reintroduction programs. Although rewilding efforts have helped revive the Great Plains, around 95% of today's bison population actually exists inside commercial ranches serving the premium red meat industry, where the modern economy has become the most powerful conservation tool for the species. In many ways, bison survived by becoming economically valuable once again. And to understand the journey behind this multi-billion-dollar industry, we must begin with the most primal instinct bison have never lost: the mating season on the North American prairie. From July to September each year, the vast American prairies transform into a true battlefield. This is the season when male bison display their strength through massive muscular bodies and violent clashes, driven by powerful reproductive instincts during the mating season. Interestingly, bison are a polygynous species, where one dominant male can mate with multiple females within the herd. And to earn that breeding right, they must first win brutal confrontations against rival males. As the mating season begins, male bison mark their territory by pawing the ground, rolling in dust, or even in their own urine. That pungent signal represents dominance, a warning to rivals and a primal call to nearby females. Once they identify a rival, they charge into each other with full force, using both horns and foreheads, willing to bleed or break their horns for the chance to pass their superior genes on to the next generation. This process is critically important because the winner not only gains mating rights, but also reinforces his dominant status and leadership role within the herd. Meanwhile, weaker males may never get a chance to reproduce if they are not strong enough to compete. After defeating his rivals, the dominant bull begins approaching the female he chooses by circling around her and constantly sniffing her body. They communicate through their own subtle language, and once the female accepts, the mating process happens quickly and decisively. Although it lasts less than 20 seconds, it remains the climax of hours, sometimes even days, of brutal competition between the males. But a single mating is never enough. With seemingly endless energy, the dominant bull continues searching for other females within the herd, repeating the cycle of conquest and reproduction throughout the breeding season. During this period, one mature bull can mate with between 10 and 20 females, passing superior genetic traits on to the next generation born into the harsh wilderness. After mating, female bison enter a pregnancy period lasting around 9 months. Typically, the mother gives birth to a single calf in late spring or early summer of the following year, entirely through natural instinct without human intervention. Remarkably, only about 30 minutes after birth, a bison calf is already able to stand up and follow its mother, a clear demonstration of the powerful survival instincts of this wild animal. But to raise hundreds of thousands of animals for the modern premium red meat industry, ranches across the United States still have to develop specialized care and management systems designed specifically for young bison. At modern bison ranches, calves are closely managed during their first 6 months of life, the fastest growth stage of their development. From weighing only around 20 to 30 kilograms at birth, a bison calf can reach more than 150 kilograms in just half a year. At around 4 to 6 months old, they begin weaning and transition to a diet rich in natural grasses, hay, and supplemental grains. The key to raising hundreds of thousands of high-quality bison lies in combining controlled ranch systems with natural free-range grazing across vast landscapes. It is this combination of modern management and constant natural movement that creates the lean muscle, low-fat content, and distinctive flavor that make bison meat one of the most premium red meats in the United States. Although most bison today live inside tightly managed ranches, their primitive wild instincts have almost never disappeared. Female bison still choose to raise their calves across vast and dangerous landscapes, where survival skills are forged from the very first days of life. From the moment they are born, bison calves must learn how to keep up with the herd across enormous grasslands, respond quickly to warning signals from their mothers, and even practice swimming through fast-moving rivers. All of these are essential survival skills in a harsh environment that has never been fully domesticated. Despite their massive and rugged appearance, bison are actually highly emotional animals. For many ranchers in Montana or South Dakota, bison are far more than livestock. After years of living alongside the herd, some ranchers say certain bison begin recognizing familiar truck sounds, the smell of food, or even the caretakers who regularly appear across the prairie. Although they do not possess the complex intelligence of dolphins or crows, they still display a remarkable form of survival intelligence. In particular, when living in a safe and stable environment, bison become extremely curious, exploring and interacting with their surroundings like children discovering the world for the first time. With ranches spanning thousands of hectares, controlling bison herds has never been a simple task. Today, many modern ranches have begun using drones to monitor herd movement, detect unusual behavior, and help manage feeding operations on a massive scale. After only around 2 years, a young bison calf can develop into a giant weighing nearly 1 ton, with the enormous shoulder hump that almost no other livestock species can rival. Although they are raised in semi-wild conditions and spend most of their lives outdoors, bison still need to be gathered periodically for health inspections, vaccinations, and growth monitoring. From 2 to 4 times each year, American ranchers use trucks, ATVs, and horseback riders to gradually herd the bison back toward the ranch's central handling facilities. Each individual is fitted with an electronic ear tag, assigned a unique identification number, and managed through a personal record system. But controlling animals weighing nearly 1 ton has never been a simple task. To ensure the safety of both the bison and the handlers, modern ranches use a specialized restraint system known as a squeeze chute. Built from ultra-durable steel, this device gently compresses both sides of the bison's body to keep the animal still for a short period of time, preventing sudden charges or violent movements that could destroy fences and cause severe injuries. Without this device, how many people do you think it would take to restrain one of these incredibly powerful giants? Once fully grown, bison are typically divided into one of 2 main paths: becoming breeding stock for commercial reproduction or entering the premium red meat supply chain. Each year, around 8,000 to 10,000 bison are sold at specialized auctions across the United States and Canada, based on factors such as age, breed, weight, genetic background, and reproductive potential. The growing demand for bison meat has caused the economic value of this animal to surge in recent years. Compared to the massive industrial beef industry, bison meat production remains relatively small, a factor that has helped this lean, high-protein, and near-naturally raised meat become a premium product across North America. As a result, a high-quality breeding animal can be sold for anywhere between $3,000 and more than $20,000 USD. Meanwhile, most of the remaining animals enter the red meat industry, where hundreds of bison are processed every day to meet rapidly growing global demand. After nearly 2 years roaming across the vast grasslands of North America, the journey of most bison ultimately ends at meat processing facilities.
Truly do have zero waste.
There, they are brought into a tightly controlled environment where temperature, sanitation, and the entire operational process are carefully monitored.
Tendons, the skull, the hide.
After stunning and bleeding, the carcass moves into the skinning stage. An initial incision is made using a specialized knife from the groin up to the chest before the enormous thick hide is separated from the body along the limbs. While the large-scale beef processing industry in the United States relies heavily on automated machinery and conveyor systems, bison processing is significantly different. Due to their massive size, difficult to control strength, and much lower production volume, most bison processing is still performed manually by skilled workers using highly precise cutting techniques.
Taking a step back, the way these animals were raised up.
The meat is then divided into various commercial cuts. Premium sections such as chuck eye, short ribs, and lean round are especially valued for their dense muscle structure, low fat content, and richer flavor compared to conventional beef. It is this relative rarity, combined with near-natural ranching methods, that has gradually turned bison meat into one of the most premium red meat products in North America, with prices ranging from 20 to more than 50 USD per pound. And so after spending more than a century on the brink of extinction, bison today have not only returned to revive the Great Plains, but have also become the foundation of a multi-billion-dollar red meat industry.
The bison bar.
And perhaps the most difficult question is this: if bison no longer carried economic value, would they still be conserved on such a massive scale today? From the vast grasslands of North America, our next journey will take us to the Arctic, where reindeer herding still survives in one of the harshest environments on Earth. According to data from the Arctic Council and FAO, there are currently around 5.3 million reindeer in the world, nearly double the number from 50 years ago. A clear testament to the enduring vitality of sustainable herding models maintained over centuries. From the rich taiga forests of the Duka people, the frozen steppes of the Nenets, to northern Europe where the Sami uphold the tradition of ear marking, all together form a unique nomadic ecosystem, where reindeer not only sustain human life, but also preserve culture and the spirit of the wild. Compared to other deer species, reindeer possess remarkable biological adaptations. Their hollow fur traps heat efficiently and even changes with the seasons. Their eyes adjust to low winter light for better vision, and their flexible hooves can contract or spread depending on the terrain, all of which make them a perfect survival machine in some of the harshest environments on Earth. With their fairy tale appearance, reindeer are best known as the sleigh-pulling companions of St. Nicholas during the Christmas season, an image deeply embedded in global pop culture. Surprisingly, beyond their symbolic beauty, reindeer play a vital economic role for nomadic communities, with an estimated value of around $300 to $400 million per year. Their meat is high in protein, low in fat, and considered one of the cleanest red meats in the world, while their hide and milk are essential resources that help Arctic herders survive the biting cold. And as magical as the story may seem, every journey begins with the most fundamental instinct gifted by nature, the drive to reproduce. For reindeer, the extraordinary life at the edge of the world also begins with that very moment. From September to November each year, reindeer enter their mating season, also known as the rut. During this time, mature males become unusually aggressive. Their antlers, typically used for digging through snow to find food, now become weapons in fierce battles for mating rights. When the battle ends, the victor earns the right to mate, while the loser can only stand on the sidelines and watch. As a reward, the dominant male may gather a harem of 5 to 15 females, securing the next generation in the endless cycle of survival across the frozen wilderness. After the mating season ends, female reindeer begin a pregnancy that lasts over 7 months, with only one calving cycle per year. Remarkably, just 1 to 2 hours after birth, the newborn calf can stand, run alongside its mother, and quickly integrate into the herd. It is this strong herd instinct and social nature that give them an exceptional ability to survive, allowing them to adapt to the harsh subarctic environment and the ancient migratory journeys their species has followed for thousands of years. In certain special cases, young reindeer have their developing antlers removed to prevent abnormal growth that could injure the head or to reduce the risk of injury within the herd as they mature. This procedure is typically performed when the calves are between 1 and 3 months old, a period considered the golden window for intervention, as the antlers are just beginning to grow, still soft, with minimal blood flow, making the process easier and less traumatic. Unlike cattle, goats, or sheep, a distinctive feature of reindeer herding in the far north is that it is primarily organized as semi-wild grazing. With their rare ability to navigate using the position of the sun, the Earth's magnetic field, and even the aurora borealis, reindeer herds roam freely across vast stretches of tundra and expansive taiga forests, migrating with the seasons in search of natural food sources. Reindeer can dig deep beneath thin layers of snow to find and graze on lichen, moss, grasses, and leaves, thanks to their sensitive noses, designed with thousands of tiny blood vessels inside that help them detect the scent of hidden forage beneath the snow. Today, climate change has made migrations more perilous than ever, forcing herders to intervene more often to guide the herds, sometimes across distances of 300 to 500 kilometers, toward the last patches of vegetation surviving beneath the ice. Another secret golden key to coping with these harsh conditions lies in providing supplemental feeding to maintain the overall condition of the reindeer herd and ensure their adaptability. At feeding time, with a deep understanding of the animal's natural behavior, these bundles are gently unwrapped, allowing the reindeer to approach and softly paw and sniff through them, mimicking their instinctive foraging movements as they search for lichen beneath the snow. In more modern areas, herders use mechanized feeders to distribute feed in long lines across the ground, ensuring even access and minimizing competition within the herd. This approach blends traditional methods with modern efficiency, supporting the sustainable development of today's semi-wild reindeer herding systems. Each year, as the ground begins to be blanketed with snow and the reindeer return to lower altitudes to escape the cold, typically around 7 to 8 months after calves are born in the spring, herders organize a large-scale roundup. To manage these vast herds spread across rugged subarctic landscapes, herders combine traditional skills with modern tools, including snowmobiles, trained herding dogs, and even helicopters. In regions like northern Scandinavia, helicopters are used to locate and guide widely dispersed reindeer, making the roundup faster and more efficient across terrain that would otherwise be nearly inaccessible. This is not just herding. It is a form of ancestral artistry, a living tradition passed down through generations by communities who have survived through a deep and sustainable relationship with the wild. Meanwhile, in regions with milder climates, such as Mongolia, parts of Central Asia, or the southern edges of Siberia, reindeer herding and management take on a slightly different form. Here, reindeer are not fully free-ranging like in Northern Europe, but are instead raised in closer proximity to humans under a semi-nomadic system. Herders, such as the Duka community in Mongolia, usually keep smaller herds of 20 to 100 animals, manageable by hand on a daily basis. During the day, the reindeer roam the forest in search of food, but by evening, they are brought back to camp and tethered near tents for easier monitoring and protection from predators or theft. In this semi-nomadic herding model, healthcare is carried out more regularly, with designated enclosures or temporary fenced areas set up in forested regions to facilitate handling, monitoring, and treatment. After bringing the herd back to camp, herders monitor the animals closely and isolate any individuals showing signs of illness for further inspection. Reindeer have strong wild instincts and often panic when approached or restrained for vaccination, so herders must handle them gently and with proper technique to ensure the process is safe and effective. To prevent outbreaks of pasteurellosis, lungworm, and other parasites, vaccinations are administered to reindeer on a regular schedule. Though given manually, these injections serve as a simple yet vital measure to protect herd health in semi-domesticated settings. By contrast, in cold climate countries like Norway, Finland, and Sweden, the sorting process is far more complex and large-scale, as herds can number in the thousands. Once the herd is rounded up into a centralized area, herders guide the reindeer into a series of concentric circular pens, divided into smaller sections for easier handling. Each reindeer is then sorted based on age, sex, health condition, or intended purpose, allowing for precise management of large, free-ranging herds. For reindeer calves around 4 to 6 months old, this is the ideal time for herders to perform ear marking, a traditional yet vital method of managing semi-wild herds. Each herder has a unique pattern, like a personal signature, that is cut directly into the edge of the ear in a specific shape. In some areas, instead of cutting, herders use plastic tags with numbers or color codes to make identification easier. These marks help determine ownership, track individual history, distinguish animals in shared grazing areas, and support collective herd management. Among the Sami people of Northern Europe, earmarking carries deep cultural significance, passed down from generation to generation as a symbol of family identity in the vast wilderness. After a long period of patient waiting by the herders, the reindeer will now be sorted for 3 main purposes: selecting the healthiest individuals for breeding, isolating those requiring treatment or health monitoring, and sending thousands of weaker or underperforming animals into the slaughter process for meat, hides, and antlers. Unlike the processing of other livestock, reindeer are highly sensitive to stress, especially during long-distance transport. For this reason, they are typically processed directly at centralized gathering points near the grazing areas first. The hide is separated and processed into premium leather products priced between $100 and $300, used to make boots, gloves, handbags, and traditional garments, bringing in tens of millions of dollars annually for the reindeer industry. And most importantly, the carcasses are collected and stored in cold conditions before being transported to specialized processing facilities for further refinement. At the factory, reindeer meat is carefully received and inspected according to strict food safety standards. The hide is removed to reveal the carcass, which is then butchered by workers into specific cuts such as loin, leg, ribs, neck, and internal organs. Compared to beef, reindeer meat is darker red in color, high in protein, low in fat, and virtually free of cholesterol. It's a highly valued food across Northern Europe, often referred to as clean meat, free from industrial farming, growth hormones, and rich in the unique flavors of the wild. No matter how many winters pass, reindeer remain a powerful symbol, linking humans to the frozen lands they call home, and ensuring the nomadic culture of the far north endures and thrives. Imagine standing in the vast highlands, where the wind never stops, and herds of alpacas quietly weave their own rhythm of life. Welcome to Peru, home to over 4 million alpacas, accounting for nearly 80% of the world's total population. Today, the footprint of alpacas has reached distant countries like Bolivia, Chile, the United States, Australia, and New Zealand, where they are not only raised for their fiber, but have also become symbols of sustainable, eco-friendly agriculture. One remarkable thing about alpacas is their incredible emotional sensitivity. If you approach them with patience and gentleness, they'll reflect that same gentle presence. But if they happen to encounter an overly eager visitor or even a grumpy farmer, a fluffy drama queen won't hesitate to unleash her signature move, spitting. Have you ever experienced that kind of moment in life? Behind that mischievous charm, the alpaca carries a natural treasure, a fleece that is soft, lightweight, warm, and virtually hypoallergenic compared to regular sheep's wool, thanks to its lack of lanolin. That's why this fiber is highly coveted by fashion houses like Loro Piana, Prada, and Armani, bringing in billions of dollars each year. And like every journey, it all begins on the farm, a place where sustainability meets compassion, and each alpaca is known by name and treated like one of their own. Unlike cows, goats, or sheep, alpacas eat very little, living mainly on natural grasses and hay. No industrial feed is needed, just lay out clean grass, and they'll calmly wander over to graze. There's a fascinating truth. The happiness of an alpaca is the golden key to producing premium quality fleece. That's why most alpacas are raised in semi-free or rotational grazing systems across vast highland pastures like those in the Andes. This approach not only reduces feeding costs, but also allows the animals to move freely, stay relaxed, and maintain optimal fleece quality. What's more, when grazing naturally, alpacas don't uproot the grass. They only nibble the tops. This protects the soil and helps preserve vegetation. Their unique 3-compartment stomach also makes digestion highly efficient, allowing them to absorb maximum nutrients from minimal food. It's this remarkable ability to eat less and thrive that makes the alpaca an ideal choice for sustainable farming, where even a handful of grass contributes to the making of some of the world's most precious fibers. But of course, to produce truly premium fleece from happy alpacas, a healthy diet alone isn't enough. Daily care is equally essential. From cleaning the barns regularly, since each alpaca can relieve itself up to 12 times a day, to carefully managing vaccinations and parasite control, every task is done with precision and respect. Breeding is also strictly managed through selective mating programs, aimed at improving both the fineness and color quality of the fleece. As a result, alpacas now produce over 22 naturally occurring fleece colors, making them one of the most color-diverse fiber animals in the world. And when it comes to pregnancy, alpacas are given just as much care. If you're familiar with how horses or cattle are cared for during gestation, you'll be glad to know that alpacas receive the same level of attention, including regular ultrasound checks to ensure the fetus is developing healthily. After nearly a year of pregnancy, the mother alpaca typically gives birth to a single baby while standing, and the delivery is gentle, guided by the patient instincts of a nurturing mother. The newborn, known as a cria, weighs around 6 to 9 kilograms at birth. What's especially remarkable is that, despite some initial wobbliness, the cria can usually stand up and take its first brave steps within less than an hour after being born. Over the next 2 to 3 years, this tiny creature will grow into a full-grown alpaca weighing between 55 and 80 kilograms, ready to enter the next chapter of its life, its very first shearing. Before the process begins, the alpacas are brought into a quiet, clean area to help minimize stress. To ensure the safety of both the animal and the handlers, alpacas are usually gently restrained with soft straps or laid on their side over padded mats, a far more comfortable approach compared to suspending sheep during shearing. But don't be misled into thinking that shearing is a burden for alpacas. Without it, their fleece grows heavy and dense, limiting their steps, trapping heat, and quietly placing their well-being at risk. Shearing lets them stay light and free, ready to roam, breathe, and enjoy the soft embrace of summer wind. Each alpaca can produce between 2 to 4 kilograms of fiber per shearing season. And among that, the fleece from the very first shearing, known as baby alpaca, is always more valuable due to its exceptional fineness and uniquely soft texture. This means that each harvest season, thousands of tons of alpaca fleece are only halfway through their journey, traveling from remote highland pastures to modern factories, where they are cleaned, sorted, refined, and spun into premium fibers destined for the world of luxury fashion. After harvest, alpaca fleece is carefully packed into large bags and transported to artisanal processing facilities. Here, a meticulous and entirely manual process begins. Workers open each bag by hand and spread the fleece across wide tables for inspection. With trained eyes and experienced hands, they sort the fibers by natural color, length, softness, and cleanliness. This is no simple task. A single facility may receive hundreds of kilograms of fleece per day, and every piece must be evaluated individually. The finest fibers, known as baby alpaca, are carefully separated, while coarser strands are set aside for products like blankets or rugs. The entire process is carried out without the use of heavy machinery, preserving the fiber's natural structure and intrinsic value. It is here, between skilled hands and quiet dedication, that the journey of turning a humble strand of fleece into a luxurious, sustainable product truly begins. Once sorted, the alpaca fibers continue their journey along conveyor belts to the washing area, where a deep cleaning process combined with preliminary combing begins. Because alpaca fleece doesn't contain natural oils like the lanolin found in sheep's wool, this cleaning stage is considerably gentler and requires neither harsh chemicals nor high-temperature water. It's a process that's more environmentally friendly and especially suitable for sensitive skin, which needs to be treated with extra care. At this stage, the fleece is soaked in warm water, around 45 to 55 degrees Celsius, mixed with biodegradable soap. Throughout the washing process, while the temperature isn't high enough to boil a chicken egg, it's just warm enough to soften the fibers, making combing more effective, detangling, removing debris, and aligning the strands in one direction. On average, each batch of alpaca fleece goes through 3 to 4 cycles of rinsing and combing to achieve optimal cleanliness and softness, preparing it for the next step, being spun into premium quality yarn. After being thoroughly washed and carefully combed, the alpaca fibers are moved to the drying area. Here, they are placed in specialized dryers operating at a controlled temperature of around 60 degrees Celsius, the ideal level for removing moisture while preserving the fiber's natural softness and structure. The drying process is gentle and even, allowing each strand to maintain its elasticity and original quality. Once the alpaca fibers are fully dried, they enter a pivotal phase in their transformation, the carding stage. This process detangles, straightens, and softens the fibers, turning them into a uniform, airy mass, an ideal condition for spinning. During this stage, the fibers are fed through a series of rotating drums covered in fine wire teeth, which act like intricate combs. These rollers remove any remaining impurities and align the fibers in the same direction. The result is continuous, lightweight, and breathable fiber strands called mica. Depending on the machine and fiber fineness, Each carding unit can process 15 to 30 kilograms of fleece per hour. After formation, the mecha strands are wound into large rolls for storage or passed directly to the spinning section. This roll form not only preserves the quality of the fiber, but also facilitates handling in the next stages. Carding plays a crucial role, not just in enhancing the texture and workability of the fiber, but in ensuring even twist and tension during spinning. Thanks to this delicate yet essential process, alpaca fleece begins to take shape, on its way to becoming soft, durable yarns that fuel the future of sustainable fashion. From thick mecha slivers, the entire process continues with full mechanization. The alpaca fibers are fed into industrial spinning machines, where they are precisely stretched and twisted to form fine, consistent, and durable single yarns. Once complete, these yarns are automatically wound onto bobbins or cones, ready for the next stage. Before entering the weaving phase, the single yarns undergo a plying process, in which 2 or more strands are twisted together in the opposite direction of the original spin. This enhances strength, stability, and ensures a more even texture in the finished fabric. Next, in fully automated weaving frames, the alpaca yarns are intricately interlaced to produce a variety of fabric types. From here, soft scarves, cozy sweaters, and other high-end garments are born, delivering not only production efficiency, but also preserving the elegance and refinement that define alpaca fiber. Beyond being woven into its natural form, alpaca fiber also embarks on a vibrant journey, the dyeing and finishing process. The dyeing process typically occurs at a gentle 35 to 40 degrees Celsius, using biodegradable, eco-friendly dyes that preserve the softness of the fiber while protecting the surrounding ecosystem. After dyeing, the yarn is carefully dried and moves into the finishing stage. Here, each batch is meticulously checked for color consistency and fiber integrity, then wound into small cones or bobbins, ready for weaving, sewing, or embroidery. Thanks to this delicate, environmentally conscious process, alpaca fiber not only retains its signature softness, but also comes alive in a spectrum of colors. Perfect for everything from culturally inspired handmade pieces to refined, modern fashion. After dyeing and drying are complete, the alpaca yarn, now soft, durable, and full of vibrant color, is ready to enter the weaving stage. In this phase, the dyed cones of yarn are fed into high-precision industrial looms where each thread is carefully interlaced to form wide, consistent, and beautifully textured fabrics. Thanks to advanced automation, these looms can produce meters of fabric at impressive speeds while still maintaining exceptional quality. The precise alignment of threads ensures a smooth surface, free from knots or imperfections, ideal for crafting high-end garments. The final texture of the fabric depends on the type of yarn used. Finer threads yield lightweight cloth, perfect for scarves or delicate tops, while thicker fibers create stronger weaves, ideal for coats, ponchos, or cozy blankets. This process not only preserves the natural softness of alpaca fiber, but also enhances its color, warmth, and elegance. As a result, every meter of woven fabric becomes the perfect canvas for garments that seamlessly blend Andean tradition with contemporary design. When thousands of tons of cocoons arrive at the factory, the transformation into silk begins with the sorting stage. Skilled workers carefully examine each cocoon, selecting them based on criteria such as size, weight, uniformity, and shell thickness. Only the highest quality cocoons are chosen for premium silk production, ensuring the final product meets the finest standards of texture and craftsmanship. Next comes a critical step to prevent the silkworm from developing into a moth and breaking the cocoon. This is done by exposing the live cocoons to high temperatures through methods such as steam treatment, hot air drying, or immersion in hot water. This process not only halts metamorphosis, but also sterilizes the cocoons and preserves the unbroken structure of the silk filaments, ensuring longer shelf life and superior thread quality. But that alone isn't enough to soften the saracen, the natural protein that acts as glue, binding the silk fibers together. So after the pupae are removed, the cocoons are gently warmed in hot water at around 60 to 90 degrees Celsius. Now, the heart of the entire process begins to beat, as the softened cocoons enter the mesmerizing silk reeling stage. If you look closely, you'll notice the rotating brushes gently swirling in hot water, not only to loosen the outer saracen layer, but also to skillfully locate the silk filament's end, finer than a strand of hair. As soon as the brushes uncover and separate this delicate tip from the cocoon, a sharp-eyed worker quickly identifies it and carefully guides it into the reeling machine. From there, shimmering strands flow like a silver stream, each formed by combining threads from 5 to 10 cocoons and wound evenly onto spools. Though a single cocoon can yield up to 1,000 meters of silk, it takes between 2,500 to 3,000 cocoons to produce just half a kilogram of raw silk, the precious material behind the world's finest silks. Once the raw silk threads are drawn, they move on to the twisting stage, where multiple fine filaments are gently spun together to enhance their strength, consistency, and suitability for weaving. This is also the moment when skilled artisans can blend different silk types to create unique textures, desired thicknesses, or subtle variations in color and sheen. Interestingly, the twisting density of silk is entirely different from that of wool or alpaca fiber. Animal fibers, being shorter and more fragile, require a tighter twist to ensure durability. In contrast, silk filaments are naturally long, smooth, and lustrous, needing only a gentle twist to preserve their signature drape, softness, and shimmer. This delicate balance gives each silk thread a soul of its own, shaping not only the texture, but also the emotion and elegance of the fabric it will soon become. However, to truly reach their full potential, the freshly spun silk threads must undergo a special transformation, the degumming process. This is done by soaking the twisted threads in warm water mixed with a mild, alkaline solution. As the saracen slowly dissolves, what remains is the pure essence of silk, lighter, softer, and unbelievably smooth. In that very moment, the thread awakens, no longer raw fiber, but a living material ready to become something magical. Before being placed on the loom, premium silk threads undergo a special step, yarn dyeing, a moment when artisans breathe soul into each living strand of silk. Each bundle of silk is soaked in a dye bath for 4 to 6 hours, where natural colorants, extracted from indigo leaves, pomegranate rinds, rosewood, or sappanwood roots, seep deep into the fibers. This traditional yarn dyeing technique forms the foundation for intricate woven patterns, such as ikat or brocade. Meanwhile, for solid-colored silks or hand-painted fabrics, the entire cloth is dyed after weaving, creating flowing layers of color that blend harmoniously, soft and fluid like water. After the dyeing process, the premium silk threads are ready to enter their final stage, weaving. Depending on the intended use and local traditions, the silk may be woven on traditional handlooms or modern industrial machines. Regardless of the method, this is the moment when thousands of threads move rhythmically, crisscrossing, undulating, flowing with softness yet precision, to form smooth, lustrous sheets of silk. Each woven fabric is no longer just a material. It is a living artwork, ready to become garments, art pieces, or one-of-a-kind handcrafted masterpieces.